We're good to go?
Yep.
Okay. Well, good morning, wonderful CEO students. My name is Tom Harness. I don't know how much Ken has told you. Has Ken told you anything about me yet?
Very little.
Not even that I'm amazing?
Just that.
Just that?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to do a couple of things. I want to go through and kind of talk to you about my journey, where I come from, my background, how I started my business, and then how I'm using my personal branding, to help launch my own business. So there's two components. And I think you guys have talked a little bit about marketing and your business. I don't know how much you guys have talked about, and I don't think Ken said you talked much about personal branding. Personal branding, especially for your generation, is everything. You will have much more opportunities as the young entrepreneurs that you are than me as a bald 44-year-old man. I'm going to tell you that right now. It takes me much longer than it will you guys. So a little bit about myself. I'm originally from South Dakota. There are more than 5 people that live there. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's an amazing state. My parents were divorced, so I lived between South Dakota and Kansas. So I went back and forth quite a lot. So I ended up going to 9 different elementary schools throughout my life, so I had a lot of transient. So my background was always the new kid. So I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but it's not always a fun experience. I was always different, not quite this different. But I liked Alf, and I liked The Greatest American Hero, and Lincoln Logs, and all the things that you could do by yourself, and I wasn't very outgoing as much. I was definitely 100% an introvert. When I graduated high school in Rapid City, South Dakota, I ended up going into the Army. I was in the United States Army for 4.5 years, from 1992 to 1996, and I was a satellite communications systems operator, which basically meant that I established communication links via satellites, so you could hook up things called faxes. Anybody know what a fax is? No? Okay. Internet, phones, anything electronic back in the day. So it was kind of ahead of its time. We actually did a test video conference, which was horrible at the beginning. It was very choppy, but we got it to work nonetheless, and we were excited. So during my time in the military, I went to basic at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I went to AIT, or school, at Fort Gordon, Georgia. My first duty assignment was, any guesses? Anybody want to throw a country out there?
Russia.
That would be cool, but no. I'll talk about that later. Was South Korea. So my first duty assignment was South Korea. Everybody in my class went to Germany, but me. I went to South Korea. I came back, went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and then I ended up during Fort Huachuca, I went to Saudi Arabia for 6 months and did a rotation during Desert Storm. Came back, and then I ended up finishing up in Fort Gordon, Georgia. And then I came here to Southern Illinois, where I went to John A. Logan. I started out in computer science, then I switched over to education. So I ended up finishing my teaching degree at SIU. I taught, I'm trying to remember now, 6 years, 5th grade in Heron. I taught 3 years, kindergarten through 8th grade technology classes at Unity Point here in Carbondale. And then I taught 3 semesters at SIU in the education program. After that, I ended up going over to Walker's Bluff and became their chief information officer for about 2.5 years. Oversaw the infrastructure, technology, point-of-sale systems, anything like that. And then I decided to listen to my wife. She told me that I needed to start my own business, and I took some time off after I left Walker's Bluff, started researching what I wanted to do. Was kind of in business partnership with a young man, Evan Youngblood, who owns Megabytes in Heron. And he was getting a lot of people that were saying, hey, what is this social media stuff about? What do you want? And I asked him if I could take some time and kind of look at it. So at that time, when I did that, I totally removed myself from Facebook, all that stuff. So needless to say, I had to get back on after that. So I researched for probably a good 3 to 6 months. Came up with a business plan. And this is probably the first lesson you're going to learn. Worked really hard. 3 months into my business plan with pricing and marketing and all that. Guess what I had to do, Ken?
Start over.
I had to go back to I realized the services that I wanted to provide for clients was taking more time. I could give them the bare minimum. Unfortunately, I needed more time to actually get the results that I wanted, that I expected for them. And that meant more time equals more money, which means I had to ask them or try to find a way to get them to go up where I could actually pay, they would pay for those services. So I ended up having, I think back then I had 5 clients. I ended up getting all of them except for one to move to that new plan, and it was great. It worked out really well. Increased my margins by about 300%. It was quite a big jump. I didn't know if it would work, but hey, you never know unless you try. So business started great, and then it just kind of flattened out. And that's where I want to kind of segue into about personal branding. So the person you see in front of you with this suit, I have 15 different suits. So how did this all start? Well, let me tell you something. I was the person that would sit there, probably expect things to happen for me. I thought hard work was just busy work, working hard, and everything was going to work. Everybody tells you what, hustle and all that, but what does it mean? What does it look like? Well, it means that and looks something different to everybody. But it isn't just behind a computer, man. I'm going to tell you that. It's not reading a book and learning about all this stuff. It's not just doing whatever your craft is. It's literally stepping outside your comfort zone and doing other elements that you would never do. It does 2 things. It helps you be able to learn your business better. And 2, it is the most humbling experience you will ever have. Humbling. Because you always need to be hungry. You always have to be hungry and wanting more. Now, you have something I don't. You have youth, you have energy, you have all these innovative ideas. So you are a little bit ahead of me when I started. And mine didn't start till I was 40. So I've only been doing this for about 4 years of kind of really being who I want to be, embracing that, and really stepping outside my comfort zone. So when you guys are thinking about your businesses, you need to think about them as 2 things. You've got the business side, and you've got you. Now, I'm going to ask you something right now. How many of you are absolutely, positively, now answer this honestly, are willing to do whatever it takes to make your business succeed? And that's okay.
Anything?
Mm-hmm.
As in like what? I mean.
Anything.
Hello.
And that's the fear. Right? Because what are you doing? You're already thinking to yourself, what does that mean? Is it legal? Is it what? What am I going to have to do? Am I going to have to be? Is it unethical? You're already asking those questions. But nobody raised their hand. And I was one of you. And now I'm going to tell you, I will raise my hand every time. I will do whatever it takes. What you want to do is get into the mindset when someone asks you, what do? You're going to say, I do whatever it takes. That's the mentality you have to have. That's the greatest thing that someone can ask you, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, I do whatever it takes. And that's the thing that you want to get into your mind. Now, with that personal branding, you have to be willing to step outside your comfort zone. And I can't tell you what that is. That's something if it's most of you, it's public speaking. What's your name?
Yasser.
Yasser? Yasser doesn't have that problem, right? We all know that. He's that one that's always going to step up, say stuff. He's good at that. But you know what? He's still going to have to be better. He's going to have to be focused. He's going to have a message that when he speaks, people listen, right? The rest of you just have to get to that first step. You have to jump off that cliff a little bit. And part of that with your personal branding is finding out and asking the question, write this down, because I want you to answer this. What makes you, comma, all caps, you, exclamation point. What makes you, you? When you go through this process of marketing and branding yourself and your business, that's what you need to always ask yourself. What makes you, you? Okay? Everyone in here has something unique about them. Something that even if someone else does it, whether you are a master yodeler. Do we have a master yodeler in here other than Ken?
Just me. What does that mean? Yodeler?
You don't know what a yodel? Yodeling, you know that? You don't know what a master? Okay, you're gonna have to Google that. Yodel. Oh my goodness.
You stand on the cliff or whatever.
Yeah, like the cliff. Thank you. And they yodel. Yeah, it's a Swiss kind of thing, I guess.
Just Ricola.
Ricola. There you go.
Oh, Ricola.
That's like kind of, but yeah. So you have to be able to ask yourself that question: what makes you you? Now, I started my business out, Harness Digital Marketing, right? Yes.
I'm sorry. I just, do you mind sharing what you would consider your answer to that so that they can get an idea, or is that too personal a question?
Okay. All right. No, Ken, way to call me out here, buddy.
Well, I mean,
No, you're right.
I
To
want
give
you
him an
to-
example, yes. You know, what makes me me is the fact that I embrace being a veteran. Being a veteran, first and foremost, is what makes me me. 2, my community service. I give 1,000% back to my community whenever, wherever I can. I'm a giver. And 3rd, what makes me me is the fact that I'm a family man and I struggle. And the reason I say that I'm a family man and that's what makes me me, that's the area that I want to focus on more, because as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, we focus and work hard, but we can't lose sight of our family. And that's one of the things that I always make sure. And I don't do a great job of it all the time. That's the reality. The first thing you're going to get from me is the most straight, honest answers that you will ever get, because I will be completely honest with you. That's one area that I struggle with. And that's one area that I'm always conscious of, and I'm always trying to make sure that I do better. Because no matter how hard you work, you can always work harder. It's the truth, man. If your entrepreneurial mindset, you're always going to think, if I just do this, if I just do this. So those are kind of the things that make me me. Being a veteran, my community, and my family.
And if I may add to that, if you had asked me, if he had asked me what I considered to make him him, I would have written down the same things, which to me is a great thing, right? Because he doesn't just, it's not just an internal thing. His public persona, when he goes out and meets people and talks to people, and Tom and I are friends, and everything I know about Tom, ever since I met him, I would have generated that same list. Which I like the fact that it's not, understand you guys are going to have a public business persona, and then you'll have a certain degree of yourself as well. But if you can find a way to link the two, it's going to make it so much easier for you. Because as Flynn and I discussed at one point, if you're having to constantly put on a face, it's exhausting.
Yes. And the cool thing is that, when someone like Ken says that, I know that my personal branding is dead on. The perception that I have online when people either know me or don't know me, that's what they get, right? Now, I have other things about my personal brand that I'll share in a little bit, but I want you to really start thinking about your personal brand. And again, thinking about that, what makes you you. Don't let anybody ever tell you that there's nothing unique about you. There's nothing special. Either you haven't found it yet, or you know what I notice most? You don't embrace it yet. That's the biggest thing. You're scared. It's fear, right? I like individualism. I love it. But in high school and college, guess what? That's not as easy, is it? It isn't. You stand out, that means you're different. It's not necessarily a good thing, right? But if you surround yourself with the right people like I do, they accept you for who you are, and you forget the rest. That might be one person out of 500. But guess what? This area that you're in is not going to be the area that you're in forever. It isn't. So your personal brand can grow and adapt, right? So that's what's huge about having a personal brand. Now, I started my business out, Harness Digital Marketing, and the business, much like what you guys are going to have because you're not going to have employees, is going to be a business of one, you. So no matter if you're a service industry, like what we do if we provide services, what would happen is everybody wants me. What's the problem with everybody wanting me in my business? Where's the hole in that business model? What's going to happen? What happens when I have too many people? What's going to happen?
You won't be able to please them all.
Won't be able to please. Customer service goes down, but most importantly, I can't do what with my business?
Grow.
Thank you. Everybody wants to grow because growing means what?
Money.
More money, right? You need to grow, you need to make more money. So if you build your business around you in your business model, what's going to happen?
Okay.
You will tap out. You will burn out. So in your business model, you need to have some way to grow. Whether it's I sell X units, then I need to bring on someone, or I have X clients and I need to bring on someone. And you need to run those numbers. This is the part I'm not. How many in here love math? Okay, you're going to go places. I can tell you that right now. The rest of us, two things. Learn basics, or everybody ask her for questions. Right? You want to have her ask you for questions or get your help. You have to run numbers. It's not sexy. It's not pretty. It's not fun. It isn't. But if you want to be successful with your business, you have to do that. So I built this business around me, and then I realized, oh no, I can't grow because everybody wants me. So when I brought on my first person, it was hard. I was like, man, what am I going to do? So I start researching, and I start reading, and I start talking to people. I use the SBDC, and I realize I need to build the company's brand. The company has to have a brand. But the problem was at that time, the company, face, everything was me. So what do I do? What do? I branch off. I now have two businesses in an essence, if you want to think of it that way. My personal brand is my business, and Harness Digital Marketing. What's beautiful about that is I can piggyback off that. I can use one to promote the other, to build the business. So what you want as a personal brand is you want to go out and everybody says, Yasser, hey man, how's it going? How's business, right? You want them to know you. Not in a bad way or an egotistical or an egocentric way. You want them to be like, hey, I know that guy. He does blank. You want them to at least make a connection with you. You want them because that's your brand, that's your marketing. So when someone comes up to you, you can say, hey, how's it going? I don't know everybody. I don't. But you can still be friendly. You can be honest. Hey, how's your business going? You know, and you have a discussion. And then you're like, yeah, it's going great. Or, you know what? We had a rough November, December. You know, whatever happens, you can make that connection. Because when you sell, how many of you think you're really good salespeople? Yeah, me neither. I mean, I do okay. That's why I have a salesperson. But it's easier if you've got a personal brand and you walk out and people start talking to you. It makes it easier, right? So your personal brand helps open up doors for sales, for leads. Okay? The business side needs to have its own entity itself. It needs to show your company culture. It needs to show your products. It needs to show exactly what they're going to get. The number one thing that businesses are successful with online through social media is creating a culture. When they go through, not an image, when they scroll through a timeline or they look at your Twitter, your Instagram, your stories, whatever it is, they want to see a story of the culture. They want to see the reality of what it is, not the perception of it's great and amazing. They want reality. And you guys really want that. You don't want to see somebody fake. You want to see the fun stuff. You want to see that. They got to connect. You want to connect with people. Okay? So the business side is that. The personal side goes back to what makes you you, embracing it, and going all in. All in. I forgot, what was your name again? Flynn. See, I told Flynn, I was like, I knew I was going to like Flynn right off the bat because if I could have hair, that's exactly what I'd want. That fits my personality. I'd like some red, white, and blue maybe. If I had hair, that would be pretty cool, right? But when you look at these two areas of your personal branding and your business branding, you've got to be all in. And it is exhausting. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a lot of work because not only do you have the marketing side, this branding side, you're doing what? You're probably making the products, you're doing the service, but you have to make it fun. That's where the branding and the marketing comes in. It gets you fueled. It gets you energized, right? That's why you have to embrace that. And I'm looking forward to finding out, because we're going to plug everybody in just a little bit. We're going to go around. We're going to share with everybody online what your business is, and that way they have an idea. Because your idea, it could be one that sparks the most amazing innovation in the world. And if you don't start thinking big, you're limiting yourself. Everybody in here has no bounds, right? Even if I came in here and told you none of your ideas were going to work, you should be like, no, it is. Absolutely. I don't care if it's the exact same thing. I don't care if it's a product that someone's put out there and failed. Maybe you're the one with the right resources that comes up with a different way to look at it. Okay? All right. So, the suits. I got to tell you the story of the suits. The suit changed my personal brand forever. I'm laying in bed, probably around October. Bless you.
Thank you.
I get about 3 to 5 hours of sleep. I don't sleep that much. I'm always on the go. My mind doesn't turn off. And it's like October, November-ish. I'm laying in bed. My wife, she hates the light. So I'm under the covers and I'm going through my Facebook feed and I'm looking at stuff and I'm checking out my Instagram and everything. And I come across this ad by this company, Shinesty.com. And I'm looking at it's a suit. It's like a Christmas suit. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. It's one of those moments where like it just hits you. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I think it might have been possessed. Ken, I think I might have been possessed. Or divine intervention, one of the two. And I'm like, you know what? And this is so not like me. I'm going to buy this suit and I'm going to spread Christmas cheer. Totally not like me. You're seeing a whole different, this is the product of that. I'm like, yeah. So I don't know what it was, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to get my card out and I'm buying this Christmas suit underneath the covers, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to wear this during Christmas season. I'm going to do this. So next morning, I tell my wife thinks I'm probably crazy. The suit comes, and it was amazing. I'm not going to lie. So the cool thing is, the reality sets in. It's almost like when you do something for the first time, you have to get on a stage in front of a bunch of people, and you're okay with it until you get right there, and the butterflies go, and you're like, am I really going to put this on and wear it? What are people, I'm going through all these things. What are people going to say? What am I going to do? I was nervous, I was shaking, and I'm like, I don't know. Something happened. Something just, a switch flipped in me, and I decided, I'm just going to embrace it, man. If people laugh, they make fun of me, you know what? What was the goal? They laugh. Who doesn't want to laugh at Christmas time, right? Sometimes people are so stressed out. How many of your parents get stressed out at Christmas time? Yeah, right? So I'm like, let's just do it. So I start wearing the suit out in public. 1 day, 2 days, 3, random days. And people are wanting to start to take photos. And I'm like, yeah, we'll spread some cheer. And then someone just mentioned, hey, you should, are you raising money for anything? And I'm like, no. So the very first year of the Christmas suit, I'm like, yeah, I'll raise money. So people donated. I put them online. I tagged them. We had fun. We spread some Christmas cheer. And we raised $800. So I took half of that, gave it to Gumdrops. I took the other half, and I used it to buy some bikes for when the Williamson County Pavilion had a bike giveaway for kids in the area. They used that. We got some bikes for them. So when we did that first year, I decided, everybody's asking me, am I going to do it again? So next year, I'm like, I'm going to get organized. Let's get planned. Let's now, we got an idea. Let's take it up a notch. So I bought the suit. I decided to choose a fundraiser, which I chose a veterans organization. I chose Team RWB. And then I said, let's really step this up. So my goal was, actually, I don't think I had a goal the second year. I ended up raising $3,000 in probably about 20 days. So I started off on Giving Tuesday. And on Giving Tuesday, which is the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving, I always forget what it is, we go in, and I would go and start getting people, go to businesses, plugging. So it's kind of like a marketing ploy too, and it also helps me connect with businesses in a different way. So instead of going in and asking for money and services, I'm going in and talking to them about a charity that I'm very passionate about, and it helps them see me in a different way. So again, the personal branding side, people need to see you in different ways. If your brand is always about when you come in and they're like, oh my God, there's that salesperson, right? That's not good. You want them to say, oh man, there's Tom, that's that crazy suit guy, or hey, that's the guy that likes coffee and bow ties and all this other stuff. That's good, right? It's a segue. It's like going into a room and not being a stranger. So the personal branding helps give people that icebreaker moment, which is key, okay? So raise that money. All right, third year. Third year, I go and raise money for The Promise in Marion. And we raise a little bit over, I think it's about the same, a little bit more, $3,500. But I also, because it's a shelter, I allowed people to make donations, so they dropped off. So people would drop off clothing and food, and it was great. Well, I figured year 4, I got to really step it up. So I've got my buddy, Kevin Huntsberger from Channel 3, to partner with me. And bless you. I got him to partner with me. We chose this year Children's Home and Aid, and it is a service that provides foster families counseling and other services once they've adopted. So we brought them on board, and Kevin, when we did our Facebook Live video, he jumped out and said, we're going to do 5,000. And I was like, what? That's like every year it's 3,000. We can get that done before Christmas. We could do that. He says 5,000. So we raised over $5,500 in about 25 days. Now, all it took was a lot of time, wearing the suit every day, because I didn't tell you this. We wear the suit every day until the money's raised. Now these suits are washable, so we'll wash them and hang them up. But every day we don't take the suit off. Commitment. I am committed to making this happen every year, right? So that's the year 4, and all of this helped segue me to get outside my comfort zone. It's all about that. Now, you would think, how can I top that, right? I'm going around all Southern Illinois wearing a suit every day, businesses, people. Well, Hospice Gala last year asked me if I would perform. Never performed. No lip syncing, no nothing. They're like, hey, you know, when you shave your beard and your head and you put your glasses on, you look a little bit like Pitbull. Would you do Fireball? And I said, well, the right person asked me, and I said, okay. So for 3 months, I practiced 3 months. Practiced the song, which is ridiculously hard and fast. Practiced dancing. We had dance routines for 3 months to come out on a stage to raise money for hospice in front of about probably 600-700 people that I've never done before. Never. Like, I'm usually small group kind of thing, right? So I go out there, and I'm not going to lie. I was nervous. I nailed the song, and at the very end of it, there's a video on YouTube or online. You can see me jump up and down because I was so excited because I actually nailed it. So this year, they brought back, and then they asked my buddy Kevin, and then Mayor Stevens, Mayor Will Stevens, all 3 of us did a rap montage. I did Ice Ice Baby, Kevin did Bust a Move, and then Mayor Stevens did Humpty Dance. So we did this rap medley that they kind of mashed them together. And this was the first time. We did more dancing this year. I'm not a dancer. We did dancing, and we each one actually sang, lip-synced our song, or not lip-synced, we sang our songs to the songs. And I'm not going to brag or anything, but I think it was the best one. No. There was a lot of great performances that night. But I stepped it up again. So in my mind is, how do I keep going bigger and bigger? Not as an egocentric thing, but to challenge me. Because every time I step outside my comfort zone, I get more ideas. I get more comfortable. If you want to be successful, you have to step outside your comfort zones. You have to make a list of 3 things that that you fear, that you're uncomfortable with, and you tackle them. You overcome them. And you make it happen. Because if you want your business to succeed, you have to do that. Once I did that, my business changed. Completely changed. all because I brought in the personal branding of myself and I used it to offset my business brand. Those two things are absolutely crucial. If you're lucky, I don't know, and if you want, we can probably bring up the video if you want to watch the video. You want to watch?
Yeah.
All right. Tell you what, when we get to the end, someone make a note. We'll pull it up and we'll watch it. The only problem is you cannot judge me, and you have to say that out of all three performances, mine was the best.
Almost definitely.
Okay. Yeah. No, I will say, honestly, all three of them, Mayor Stevens, Kevin, amazing. And you know what? I'm super proud of my buddy Kevin because I preach to him all the time about stepping outside his comfort zone. I'm kind of the one pushing him. Actually, I'm kicking him to do that, to get more comfortable. He'd never done this either. And it was amazing to see your friend. When you see some of your other friends do that, it's embracing, it's empowering, because if you're stepping outside your comfort zone, your responsibility then is to help other people feel comfortable with that. You know, get other people to feel comfortable about wearing really cool lime green hair, or talking in public and speaking up, right? Or stepping up and being a camera person, which thank you, by the way. Okay? Your personal brand is not necessarily always about you. Your personal brand is what you can do with it, right? So don't get caught up in, or don't let people tell you why are you drawing attention to yourself, because what you're doing is you're drawing attention to yourself to do what? To do good. Whether it's for your business or your community or your friends, you're doing it to create something bigger than you. That is so important. You're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people that comment on you. There's that, oh my gosh, early on, there's that crazy suit guy. What's wrong with him? He's, all this stuff. And it does kind of get to you. I felt like for a little bit when I started stepping outside my comfort zone, I was back at high school and college again. And then I embraced my friends and the ones that are around me, the positive people, and I forgot the rest. I leave them in the back, right? Hopefully I win them over, or I don't want to say win them over. Hopefully they start to see things differently too, okay? All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is perception, okay? Ken talked a little bit, sounds like you guys talked a little bit about your personal, your professional face and your personal kind of like who you are and what you have to portray. It's a fine line, those two things. What you put online, and you guys, your generation, oh my gosh, yours is the worst, horrible one. You guys are going to be judged for everything from when your parents put your little cute little photos of you in the bathtub all the way up, right? Your whole life is documented online. Mine was on Polaroids and Sears and Kmart photos that are already changing colors that don't even look good anymore. They're deteriorating. But you guys, your whole life is online, which means anybody that has time that wants to go back and look can find everything about you, right? So all the good times, the bad times. So your personal brand needs to take, and I'm going to use this very carefully because I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. Your personal brand and perception, you control. You have to understand that, right? If you go to college and everything looks like you're partying all the time, that's the perception of you. But guess what? If in high school, and then you go to college, and the perception is that you're entrepreneurial and you're community-minded, but you every once in a while have some fun in there with your friends and you act goofy, what is the perception? You tell me, what is it? Good, bad?
I mean, good, yeah.
Right? You control your future. I think it's amazing. Literally, you control your future online. I hope you guys realize that. Everything that's posted on social media, you control the perception. The first thing I do when someone asks me for an internship or to work, I go to social media. I go to LinkedIn. I go to everything. Now, some of you are smart. You've got your profile set to be like specific for friends and for this and that, and I think that's great.
Private, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I will tell you, if as an employer, if I think you're hiding something, what are you hiding? What don't you want me to see? I would rather you show me so that I can go back online and say, when we have an interview, I can say, hey, notice your profile, hey, looks like you like to have a good time, or, you do this or that, and then I give them the opportunity. But not everybody does that. Not every employer is going to give you the opportunity to really highlight who you are. But you have to remember with your personal brand that the perception online is going to shape your future. So literally, if you started planning now, you could plant the seeds to have an amazing future, not only a business, a career, but you could have your own personal brand destined from now until whenever. But if you go back in, and you know what, here's what you guys should do. How many of you, are you guys all connected on social media? Most of you? Here's what you should do. You guys should audit each other. Okay? Here's what you do. You need to go through a friend, someone in here, go through whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever you guys have, go through and look. Not that the first thing, just go through and read. Just look. You don't need, just look at the images. Start writing down what it looks like to you. What are some of the first things, adjectives that describe? And you need to go back and share that with the person. Because maybe that's not what they're wanting to show. And maybe it is. And you know what else it could do? It could also help them understand more about what makes them, right? The question, what makes you, you? You could say, you know what, I noticed that you do a lot of woodworking, or, hey, I noticed that you like to go swimming a lot, whatever it is. People forget that if you go through that timeline, it's not individual snapshots. People's perceptions are based on all of that together, right? So if you start understanding that now, it'll help your business. Again, it'll help your personal brand, and it'll help you get and achieve the goals you want in the future. But you got to do it now. And if you have no presence online, you better start. I'm just going to tell you that. What?
You have no what online?
If you have no presence online,
What does that mean?
no social media, no link, nothing, you better start putting content out there. You better start letting people know. Because if you see someone, a business owner, and this is the reality, compares, I'll just pick on you two. If you guys are both applying for a job for me, and I don't know anything about you, your resume might be great, which is good, but you're nothing online, and I see nothing but community service and activism, and you're passionate, and all these positive things, right? My mind's already going, well, she's pretty awesome. I wonder why this guy's not online. We're in marketing, and he's applying for a marketing job. Why is he not online? That's kind of weird. It's just not necessarily going to help him get in the door. His resume better be very good, right? Better be really good, because he's going to have to compete with her. And then they come in, right? Just like if I'm going to buy a product, I'm going to go to your business, and I'm going to go to your business. And I'm going to look, I'm going to scroll through, and I'm going to see if you sell the exact same thing. I'm going to look at your images. I'm going to look at your text. How much time do you put into it? Because if you put time into your personal brand, that means you probably put time into your business, and you probably care about your customers. Right? Now, I'm going to tell you, there's no such thing as a personal or a perfect personal brand or business brand. Every one of you probably have businesses that you like to follow online and that you love, and you love them for whatever reason. It's cool. Maybe there's an influencer, right? Maybe there's someone that you connect with that markets a business. That's great too. But all those things will help determine your personal brand and the perception. I cannot stress the perception enough. You want to tie anything what you've talked about with that?
We talked about that many times, especially early on, that a person's perception becomes reality to that person, and that we have a certain degree of control over a person's perception. If we come in and we're dressed professionally and we're sitting here, we have our name badges, we're taking notes, that says engagement, regardless of how many hours of sleep we've had or what's going on in our personal lives. That says that, in this case, we value what you have to say. We value the fact that you came in here and you spent your time. And, whereas if we're just sitting here, half asleep or staring off into space or on our phones, you don't know. Maybe I'm checking my phone because I've got something going on that's an emergency.
Which is why I asked you about notes.
Unless I tell you that, you don't know. And then the reality for you becomes that I don't care what you think.
Yeah. One of the best things, and I'll give you some advice, Mr. Speaker. The best thing to do when you speak to a crowd is to look at engagement. Look at yawning. Just kidding. You're just tired. I know it's early in the morning. Look at engagement. Look if they're writing notes and they're supposed to be. Right? Use proximity. Engage. Ask questions. Connect eyes. Right? Those things are huge. Those things help perception and influence. Right? All right. So
It builds memories.
it does build memories.
So that if, let's say Flynn reaches out to you later, you're going to remember Flynn
I'm going to remember Flynn, don't worry.
because he was here, he talked to you, he's engaged. Whereas if somebody who wasn't reaches out to you, you're going to have to really stretch your memory. Okay, where was that person sitting? How were they
Yeah.
dressed? That's a huge thing, especially building the networks they build in CEO.
Yes, Ken, I've said this before. If I would have had the CEO program when I was in high school, holy crap. I have no idea where I would be today, honestly. If I was there and I had some guy that was just military, that I could connect with, and he was telling me to step outside my comfort zone, I could have been even bigger now. I'm not going to do a what if kind of thing, but you guys get opportunities. And I know that you're told this all the time, but again, it's what you're going to make with it, what you're going to do with it. How many people get this chance to be in front of people in the community that are willing to dedicate their time to you? You don't have people knocking at the door all the time, do you? And you're having to turn everybody away, are you?
No.
From leaders?
No.
This is very important to me because I would love for someday you guys to buy my company from me, or I work for you, or whatever. Or maybe we market your business. I don't know. But I want that. I want that for Southern Illinois. I want to know that one day, out of all these classes that I've talked to, one of them has either brought in the biggest factory in Southern Illinois, or they've gone on to be the biggest thing, a president of a CEO or of a company. I want all of that. Did we run out?
No.
Oh.
I just saw a comment
Oh,
pop
okay.
up. I thought it might be a question.
All right.
Was it? Everyone selling anything should see this today. Even if they know this, it's great to hear this again and again. Nice. Good comment.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred Up.
So one of the things I want you to do, those of you that are on Facebook, this Facebook Live thing, keep it. I know it's going to be long, but you can kind of you'll remember. Go back and segment certain areas that you want. I want you to engage. I want you to put some comments on there. I would love on this post if you would, when you feel comfortable, I would love for you to tell me what makes you you. I would love to hear that. You don't have to, but I would love for you to post on there, and that way we can stay connected and engaged, and let me know how I can help you, right? All right, so now what I want to do, so I can kind of tie in some things with you, and that way give you guys some time to ask questions, because I want you to ask questions. You should have tons. Your minds should be blown right now, right? They should be blown. All right, so I'm going to sit right here, so make sure you adjust that. And what I want you to move that camera around, and I want you to speak nice and loud to the camera, or just speak, he'll get it. So we're gonna go around, and then I want you to get everybody, and then I'll have to get you, okay? And I want you to tell me your name, and I want you to tell me what your business idea is, yet if you have it, or the business name, okay? Like a little, have you talked about pitches?
Not yet.
All right.
Coming soon.
So this is just like a little pre-pitch, so just, a minute or two.
Elevator pitch?
Yeah, like an elevator pitch, but you gotta be loud, okay?
Okay.
All right? Actually, you know what? Here, slide that over here. We'll do this. All right, that way we can get it in the center. And guess what? We're gonna start with you. All right, so tell me your name and your business and what it is. Nice and loud.
I'm Mandy. I'm a senior at Traeger High School, and I'm doing car detailing. But I don't have a business name yet. But that's what I want to do. It's an easy take-up time thing, and I don't really have a lot of free time, so it's just something easy and quick to do, and I like to do it.
Okay. What are you great at? When you detail cars, what is your best thing that you do?
Probably waxing.
Waxing? Okay. That's hard. All right, you're up.
My name's Yasser, and what makes me me is that I'm confident, I'm talkative, and I just like, I don't know. And my business idea, I don't know. So
You don't have a business idea yet?
not yet.
Okay,
But
that's
I
fine.
mean, hopefully, whatever be confident enough to execute it, go through it, and then do what I need to do.
I'm going to challenge you on one thing, because I'm going to push you.
Oh no.
You need to find a business idea that scares you a little bit, that you're not completely comfortable with, that you're not completely confident in. And that's where you're going to excel. If you do what's comfortable and confident, you're shortchanging your skills, okay? So you need to find that one thing that's just a little bit out of your comfort zone, a little bit not confident with, and that's the one that you're gonna be the most, I will promise you that, that's the one you're gonna be most successful with, because it's not gonna be just an easy thing. You need to challenge yourself with your business, okay?
Alright.
You gonna promise me that you're gonna try to do that?
I promise.
Okay, all right. All right, who we got next?
My name is Jared, and I'm wanting to sell products for a cause, like for charity and stuff.
Nice. Do you have a specific items that you want to do yet?
Yeah, I'm wanting to sell shirts and different clothing that I designed.
Oh, cool.
And
Are you on Instagram?
I am.
Okay, I definitely I want to get connected with you on Instagram, and I'm glad you're on. If you're a visual in clothing, you need to be on Instagram. All right, Mr. Flynn, hit me.
My name's Flynn, and for my business, I'm thinking of just branding myself as an artist and doing commission work for people. And currently, right now, I specialize in graphite drawings and oil paintings, but I would definitely like to expand my mediums in the future.
Actually, it's perfect brand, like to brand yourself. That's perfect because you are the brand. You only can do so much, but what's cool about you is that you can commission things based on timelines. So, and that industry works really well with that, meaning that you don't necessarily, someone needs to have it today. You can work. Artists have a much better way to do that. And you got a great look. I'm guessing you're on Instagram too?
Yes.
Yeah, it's perfect. All right, make sure we connect. Next up.
Hello, I'm Leo. My business, what I want to do is do a email blast of like ads to people, but what's gonna make it special is instead of having it in like the promotions tab, make it into like the primary tab. Somehow, someway, I'll figure that out. The business name is gonna be 炸包, which means fried biscuit in Chinese. It's crispy, it's crunchy, and it's something new, something special.
So you're going into marketing.
Yeah.
Love it. So you want to do like some email promotion campaign stuff. Are you going to focus with a specific industry, or are you just anything?
Well, anyone just reach out to like companies, get their ads in front of people, and just like get a list of people's emails and send it to them, like weekly or bi-weekly.
Okay, and tell me how do you say your business name again?
炸包.
Tapao?
炸.
Da?
Like with a Z.
Zapao.
炸包.
Zapao.
Yeah.
Man, I like that.
Me too.
And and it means what?
Like fried biscuit.
Fried biscuit. Love it.
Fried bun, yeah.
Okay, you already got the creativity. Love it. Okay, we're off to a good start. All right, next.
My name is Jacob, and my business is going to be scroll saw art. So you take a piece of hardwood, and you can pretty well do any custom logos or anything. Like I made Christmas ornaments, a lot of Christmas ornaments this year, or you can make a trivet or wall art, and you can just custom logos from them.
What's a trivet?
I had the same
Like
question.
what you put a pan on, like on it's like a hot plate.
Oh.
Like after you get it out of the oven, you put I don't know.
No, that's cool. I didn't know. All right, I'm guessing you're on Instagram too?
I am on Instagram.
Man, all these great counts that are on I can't. Okay, so make sure we connect. Okay, I want to see all your businesses and support you guys. All right, next.
I'm Gage Funk, I'm the senior at Alvarado. My business idea right now is probably doing something like pixel art for like basically taking a picture, putting like pixels almost, and then selling it on like as a keychain or on a canvas.
Okay. Any specific industry you're going to go after?
I'm not really sure about that yet.
So you have a program that pixelates it?
There, you can do it with Photoshop.
Okay.
Edited it.
And then do you still tweak it a little bit in there?
I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to figure everything out about.
That's great. Is it outside your comfort zone?
Yeah, kind of, because I've never really done much with it.
That's
I have a friend
perfect.
trying to help me with it.
I love it. All right, who do we have here?
My name is Emily Roberts, and the business I started is personalized high school memorabilia from scrapbooks to cards to photo frames, because we have a machine that can basically pretty much embroider anything that you ask it to.
It embroiders anything.
Pretty much, I embroidered a solo cup the other day.
What?
Yeah, it was just for fun. Me and my grandma were testing it out.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
You embroidered a solo cup.
Yep.
Okay, are you on Instagram too? All right. Do you have the solo cup on Instagram?
I don't have that on Instagram.
You need to
Still
get
have
that.
it?
I do have it.
Nice.
My grandma keeps it right above the machine.
Do you have a photo of it?
Not with me.
All right. Tell grandma we need a photo. So is this something you do? Is this a project that you're doing with your grandma?
Yes, my grandma takes like tons and tons of classes every week, and then
Aw.
she comes home and teaches it to me.
That is absolutely amazing. That is really sweet. So you guys do stuff together.
Yes,
I bet that's really cool for you guys, and I'm sure your grandma loves that.
I hope so. It leads to a couple fights, but never like over anything big.
Hey, anytime you do business with family, it does. You just have to have some parameters set in place, not a problem. But that's great. So now you've got me thinking like, what kind of things I want to embroider? Like we can embroider anything.
Right.
All right, I'm thinking. I'm going to
got-
challenge
got
you.
some ideas?
Yeah, I'm going to have to challenge you on that. All right, next up.
I'm Mason Mooney, and my business is personalized knife home.
Personalized
Knife home.
knife.
Knife.
Knife art?
Knife.
Oh, knife art.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I really not much other than that, really.
So how do you you engrave metal engraving on the
Yeah.
knife?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So you do the art, or do you use it as a machine that's actually doing
No,
it?
I do it by hand.
Really? That's amazing. Wow, that can't be easy.
Acid etched, or how do you?
I'm not saying I can show you yet, but probably acid, yeah.
Okay.
Acid is-
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Hold on. Let me get over here. There we go.
My name's Lauren Martin, and I'm undecided for what I want to do. I don't want to waste a giant opportunity and then have something silly.
No, that's fine. You know what? Sometimes the silly are the best things, man. I'm telling you. Just be open to anything. You'll find the right thing. Talk to people. The best thing is to look for something that you think could do better. It's like you have to get your mind open to the possibility of that something different can happen, right? Like, just remember, someone came up with the clothes hanger. Someone came up with milk cartons. I mean, the light bulb. I mean, all these different things because people wanted to try to make something better, or they wanted to find something to fix a problem, right?
So someone turned the light bulb off.
Funny. I like that. All right, next up, our last one.
Hi, my name is Sean Veras, and I make musical ideas for songwriters. And basically what that means is I figure out chords, melodies, and I sell it to them for a price.
So you're like a producer?
Yeah, I'm kind of like what I'm thinking right now is like kind of being a producer for everyone. Like for smaller artists, independent artists that can't afford like a personal songwriter.
Okay. So give me an example, like give me a scenario. Ken's in a boy band. Okay? And
We're supposed to know that.
Ken's in a boy band, and the boy band comes to you. What are you going to do for them? Like, you're going to help them write a song?
What I would do is I would figure out what style they want first, and then write chords, melodies, all that, just chords and melodies for that song, for that style.
So they would come to you possibly with lyrics, and you help them set it to that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, if I want to have a song, I can just write my lyrics. Here's my lyrics. You'll come up with an idea to produce it for the style, the genre, and then you'll have that. I sing it to the overtrack of that, and we produce it. You make money. I make a lot of money, right? And we live happily ever after?
Yeah.
No? Yes?
Yeah.
Pretty much? Okay.
Can it be done remotely, or does it have to be done in person?
It doesn't have to be in person. I'm thinking remotely right now.
Okay.
So there's a sea of people out there that are, budding musicians, and you're going to be able to cater to an emerging market.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hey, hey, John Donosky, if you're watching this, you need to hook up with this kid, okay? I have a friend that does something very similar to that, and he works with artists in Nashville, and he does. John is one that got me connected with dubstep music. I had no idea what dubstep was, and now all I do is clean my house to dubstep music. So I'm in the vacuum the house, and I'm listening to dubstep. So, but anyways, all right. So we got a little bit of time, and then we'll have Ken, and we'll pull up the videos from last year and let you guys be amazed at my outside the box talents. So what questions do you have about personal branding or branding your business? Nobody gets out of here. You're going to ask, so you better start thinking. Thank you.
Well, I have a question about the suits ad. actually. So I know
Yeah.
the Christmas suit started, so when did you decide you were going to wear them more often?
Okay, so the company I told you that I bought them from, Shinesty.com, has a whole line of other suits. Okay, so I just started. I started thinking that, well, people are associating me with these suits, but I'm not going to wear a Christmas suit all year long. So, and honestly, I can't tell you what the first outside Christmas suit was.
Was it the Heron Fest? Was that the
Yes,
second?
my mustache suit.
Mustache suit?
Thank you. Yes, my mustache suit was my second one, and I used that to help promote Heron Fest. And I still wear these suits. One of the coolest ones, and I don't wear it enough, is my Batman suit. So I have this character called iBatman, because I do all it because I'm an Apple person, and it's, you know, you'll see on my accounts for Twitter and Instagram are Tom Harness. So it's like little I and then Tom Harness. But I do this whole character with him, which I have the mask. It's a licensed mask, and so I always do it in character. So I usually never wear the suit unless I have the mask, and I do it in character. So I emceed a whole chamber dinner in it for about an hour and a half, and I almost lost my voice because I did this what's his name?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale voice. Yeah. So, you know, and I just got associated with it. So when you're talking about personal branding and you're getting outside your comfort zone, sometimes if you embrace it, just find other ways to kind of, you know, change it. Now, the cool thing is, I also have really nice suits. I have this guy at Dillard's. His name's Fred Huff. He's one of my Carterville Rotarians. Every year I go and buy a nice suit, and I have probably about 4 or 5 nice suits. So whenever I wear nice suits, people are always asking me, why am I not wearing my crazy suits? But guess what? They're asking, right? So that's the thing, is that you don't need to be typecast into something, right? You can still shake it up. Don't let people define you. Don't expect people to, you know, feel like you have to be in a suit all the time, but you can still shake it up and be who you want, right? Okay. Good question, though. What else about, yeah?
I have a question about your business itself, actually.
Yeah.
So what kind of business entity is it? Are you a sole proprietorship or partnership?
Yeah, so I'm an LLC sole proprietor. We have 3 people that work at Harness Digital Marketing plus myself. I have Ana Perez, who is from SIU graduate, and I also have Lindsay Hendrick, who is an SIU graduate. And then I have Matt Carnegie. Matt is my Director of Business Development. He does all the sales and helps us grow. And then Ana and Lindsay are my content writers, and they work with the customers, and we go over the plans. And then basically I come up with the ideas, I try to help market it, the PR, try to get us out there. You'll find out as your business grows, you get to do less and less of what you actually want to do, and it's more about running the business. But you need to find people, again, that fit your company culture and that are willing to step up. And Ana and Lindsay and Matt, I couldn't ask for harder workers. Don't let anybody tell you about this whole millennial thing. I know you guys don't fall into the millennial category, but I've had nothing but great success hiring millennials, and it's mostly because of me being a leader. Millennials, a lot of the younger generation wants to work for leaders. They don't want to work for a boss. They want to work for leaders. They want to work with people that can help them grow, and they want to be a part of a company, and they want to make a difference in the world. And once you understand that's how they work, that usually fits into any company culture. It really does. You have to rethink how you're going to do that. So we provide basically 3 main services for clients. We do social media content, writing, and management. We do promotions. We basically run it for the company, under them. We do email marketing, and we do WordPress SEO. So we do SEO stuff on WordPress. Probably each year that we've been in business over the last 4 years, we have done more and more consulting. I do a lot of consulting. I'm doing much more bigger speaking gigs. I get to be in my very first, the biggest conference I've ever done, which is the MDMC conference in St. Louis. It is the largest digital marketing conference.
Sorry.
You're stealing my thunder. I'm just kidding. Your phone is so excited about my conference. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, you're fine. It's the largest digital marketing conference in the Midwest, and it just made Forbes' list of must-attend conferences. So super excited about that. And another thing, I submitted 3 years in a row. This year, I got in. So I didn't give up. You just got to keep putting things in. Kevin, my buddy that I was telling you about, we went last year. We hijacked the conference. I don't want to say hijacked. You know how people you usually have to buy a table? We wore our suits and we were a walking billboard. And we basically passed out cards. So again, opportunity, right? And I think that probably did help me get in this year because they knew me, and it was good. So I will be talking about personal branding and how to do that in about three areas to focus on. So you kind of got a little bit of a sneak peek, and you didn't have to pay.
And that's in St. Louis?
St. Louis, March 27th and March 28th. It's a 2-day conference. It's probably one of the most affordable. All the proceeds that they make, it's a nonprofit, goes back to scholarships for UMSL, University of Missouri. I mess it up. I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching. But yes, it goes to scholarships, which is amazing. But it's cool. We have people there from Instagram, Facebook, BuzzFeed, everything. They have people from everywhere. And Tom Harness.
Right.
Super excited, right? But it didn't happen overnight. I had to keep being persistent. Don't quit. Don't give up. Other questions? Got a couple more?
I have one if they don't.
Yeah.
So, as people their age, whether they already have a social media presence, a personal brand that they've built online without thinking about it, or they don't have one at this point, where would you recommend they start? How would you recommend what would you want their personal brands to say in order to make them more marketable, whether it be to future employers or to future customers, clients?
First and foremost, I think that you guys need to start establishing your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profiles are pretty much your resume anymore. Most companies will still want you to submit one, and again, you have to understand, I'm marketing, so I'm looking for creativity. We had one young lady, Elaine Hampton, who worked for us for a little over a year. One of her goals was to work for a bigger firm, and she did. She got it in St. Louis. We're so excited for her. But her resume she sent to me through Instagram, and I thought it was the most brilliant thing. Like, she was creative. And that's what I'm looking for. So whatever industry that you're looking at or you're wanting to go into, I think that that's what you need to look at. If it's very corporate, you definitely need to be on LinkedIn. I love Instagram. I think Instagram is a great tool, not only just for the targeted marketing you can do through hashtags, but I think it also is a real good viewfinder on personality. Facebook is more of just, it's kind of like a brand, right? I think you have to be on there, but it's not as fun, it's not as cool. But you have to, because there's just so many people and you have an opportunity to get in front of a lot of people. And it's a branding tool. I think Instagram for you guys would be much better. And then as you fill out your LinkedIn profiles, key things, have a professional photo. And I think you go through that here, don't you? They take professional photos?
Yeah, they already have. Amy Wakefall took headshots for them. And I think you all already have LinkedIn, right? Didn't we do that together?
Yeah.
So.
Keep it updated. As you develop and you get older, start putting content in there. Highlight your achievements, volunteer work, this class. Highlight this class. If I was in this class and I had the knowledge now, I would be photographing, connecting, networking with every person that I could tag, businesses. I would do everything so that way I could always remember these people. What's cool about Facebook is when you tag people and you do locations, they have this new feature called Time Hop. That's what's great, right? So you see what happened a year later. So every year moving forward, as you get older, you can always see that stuff and say, oh, I'll just choose me because I'm here. Oh, I remember that. I wonder what Tom Harness is doing again. And you can reconnect. Hey, Tom. Hey, you remember me from Entrepreneur? Hey, guess what? My business is now, in a Fortune 500. Wanted to say, hey, thanks for coming and visiting. I would love to donate to your ugly Christmas suit fund this year. Who do I write the check to? Just kidding. But that's what you do. There's so many opportunities. Don't be so limited about thinking about just posting to post. Think of the amount of possibilities of connecting with these people and always having that connection. That's why when you see me go out, I'm taking photos and tagging all the time, right? To help the brand, to help them, to help plug. That's the beauty of it. So that way you can always try to connect with them. That's what you want. That would be my suggestion. I'm not too worried about his Twitters. My Twitter's great if you want to try to connect with some people and the microblogging. I love that. But I think if I were you guys, I definitely focus on LinkedIn first to make sure you have that looking professional. And if you want, I've done this for SIU college students, just connect with me, send me a link and say, hey, would you take a look at my LinkedIn and give me some ideas? I'll be happy to, okay? But LinkedIn, Instagram for your business, your personal brand, and then I would definitely, you have to be on Facebook.
Now, can you have like a personal Instagram and like a
Business, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So I think most of you know that you could have, I think unless they've changed it, you can have 5, you can add 5 Instagram accounts that you can manage at one time on the app. You can add those so that way you can switch in between them. And it's good because you can do some cross-promoting stuff. Always, yeah?
Sorry. Now if I have like a personal one and like a business one, if like I was gonna get, if I wanted to like get a job or something, would they look at your personal one too, or they just look at your?
They'll search for your name, right?
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. They'll look for your name or whatever you're promoting or plugging, right? So if you have those on your LinkedIn profile that you have, Facebook and Twitter and all that, they'll go look. And Instagram, they'll look. Or they'll just Google your name and look for you. That's what I do. It's like the easiest way to do a quick check on somebody. All right, so it's a little bit after. All right, so let's pull this up here real quick. Can I use this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, while I can pull it up, but while I'm pulling it up, not for me, I mean, I totally know all social media, but just in case you have somebody viewing that doesn't know, can you tell a little bit about Instagram? I don't know anything about it. Or one of your viewers might not know anything about it.
So Instagram, most of you know, Instagram is very visual. It's great because it utilizes filters, and what it does is it allows you to almost look like a professional photographer even though you're not. So you use these custom filters for video and images, and then you write text. You utilize hashtags, and those hashtags are searchable, and then hopefully you connect with the network outside of that. So it's very visual. That's what it's meant for. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. I just want to thank everybody for watching. I will come back through and check this out. If you get an opportunity, we're going to try to get all these young, beautiful, and smart entrepreneurs online. Please interact with them. If they have questions, encourage them to continue. If they have ideas, give them feedback. Use this as a resource to try to help everybody connect and give them some ideas to work on. So I'm going to close this up quick. All right, so tell everybody on Facebook Live bye.
Bye.
And who has the best idea for a business? Oh my gosh. No, seriously? Come on, show some excitement.
I do.
There we go. There we go. All right. Thanks, everybody.